I was down at Lake Tahoe, just spending some time with God. I didn't think I'd be speaking to anybody particularly, but God always has a plan. When I'm trying to do something, God's trying to do something else usually. And then I was partnering with him, wherever I go, just to preach the gospel. And so I saw this man walk into a gas station in front of me. He paid in front of me. He had like satanic star around his neck and the kind of witchcraft pentagram thing. And he looked pretty oppressed by the enemy. And when I saw him, God said, I want you to speak to that guy. And so I'm like, okay. But then he paid before me, he left. So I was like trying to pay real quick, like I got to get back out there and chat to this guy really fast. And so I found him and said, hey, can I tell you something? And he's like, sure. I said, hey, Jesus really loves you, man. And I saw, as I said that to him, I saw on his knee, he had like a knee brace on. And we're in Tahoe, so there's mountains there and skiing and stuff. And I said, what's wrong with your knee? He said, I got problems with my knee from skiing. I said, okay. I said, can I pray for it really quick? And he's like, pray? I said, yeah. He was from Mexico. I said, yeah. I pray and I have power to heal. I didn't want to tell him just straight up about, saying why, but I just told him that I have power to heal and I know it comes from God. And so anyway, he says to me, yeah, okay, and so I get on my knees, and usually when I pray for people, I put both hands like around their knee or around their shoulder, but I didn't feel to do this time. I just put one hand out like that, and I didn't know why I did that. And so I did that, I prayed for him, and as I'm praying for him, his knee begins to jerk back and forward, and I could feel the power of God touching his knee. It was pretty amazing. So he's getting touched by the Lord, and then he looks down at me, he goes, oh, his face kind of went white, and he goes, stay right there. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know why he was saying that. I'm like, okay, I'll stay here. And so he runs off to his car, and I'm thinking he's going to show me some kind of new age thing, right, that he's kind of relating to how I've got my hand touching him. But he comes back with a book that he writes in and journals in, and he writes, like draws pictures in them. And he says to me, look at this, and he holds up this picture that he drew that morning. And it's a picture of a hand with a white robe, and the hand has a scar on it, and it's touching him like this. And he said, last night I had a dream that a man's hand with a white robe touched me. And he said, when you had your hand on me, I remembered the dream, and I remembered, he's like, this is actually now happening. As I had my one hand on him, I didn't know why I did that. And so he was freaking out. I said, that man's Jesus Christ. And he said, I know, I believe that. I believe that's Jesus. And he said, just recently, for the first time, I picked up the Bible. And so as he's beginning to read a few little things in the Bible, as well as his other witchcraft books, the Lord begins to visit him in a dream, put his hand on him, touch him. And I said, let me pray for you one more time. So I prayed for him. And I said, I bind everything in your life that is not from God, every spirit that doesn't come from God, that opposes Jesus Christ. And I release the reality of love and the power of Jesus into your life right now. And he began to tremble, and he goes, I can feel your presence. I can feel a spirit coming off you. I said, that's the Holy Spirit. This is the presence of Jesus. I said, you have to be born again. I said, keep reading that Bible. And he goes, I will. I'll keep reading the Bible. He's just so enthralled by what happened. He was completely stunned. So was I, because all I thought was, I'll just put my hand on him, see if the knee gets healed, right? We never really know what kind of encounter we're heading into, or what God has done in the backstory of encountering somebody's life. So at the very end of it, he says this profound statement to me. I gave him my email, my card, said, you can contact me. And he says this profound statement to me. He said, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And I said, that's exactly right. And this guy's been searching for the true teacher, Jesus Christ, for so many years. And then he sent me an email with a picture 2 days later with himself like this, doing the Christ pose with that satanic necklace gone, him at the beach of Tahoe doing the Christ pose, looking up into heaven. He sent me that picture to specifically show me that Jesus is touching his heart. And I just encourage everybody watching, you don't have any idea, neither do I, what's on the other side of you saying yes to God. And heaven bangs on the banisters and shouts and gets excited just when we walk up to somebody and say, excuse me, because we never know what's about to happen when the Holy Spirit breaks out.
Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior.